And it ain't so pretty. And it ain't so pretty for you to say. Never only told this in question what it was. And we made that shit happen so many times. Whoa! Just children kicking and screaming for guidance, boy. Of any semblance on who to trust. What world will it take from me? Will it take? Would it won't take me? What the world will it be to see? What it takes? What it won't take me?
When I met Joey and Micah, it was through the Hawaii Hardcore page.
Oh,
And I came out here and I posted a couple things, and these two guys actually hooked me up with that and got me the in and like where shows are and whatnot.
wow.
But the fun fact out of that, when Joey and I actually met, we realized we were at This Is Hardcore in July of 2018. I think no, it was 2016. 2016.
2015? No.
2015. Yeah, 2015 was when I moved out here, July 2015. And we were both at that same show, and there's a couple pictures where you could see both of us
No
before we
way.
actually knew each other right in there. And like 6 months later, here it is.
Wow. So what? This is Hardcore Fest in Philly, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But yeah, I played in a bunch of bands like over on the East Coast, getting back to that anywhere from pop punk, hardcore. You know, so it
Nice.
wasn't anything new coming out to it, but I knew I wanted to get back into it because that's where that passion is, and you know, it's something I love doing.
Yeah, so I actually started out with like an old school metalcore band. It was very much like As I Lay Dying meets like August Burns Red kind of stuff.
What the fuck is
You
all
know-
that shit? Is that like Hot Topic Hardcore? What is that?
Pretty much Hot Topic hardcore.
Okay.
Perfect call, man. It wasn't until I moved to Hawaii where I kind of like Ryan's story that I found like a Hawaii hardcore thing on Facebook, and I linked with Micah McDermott and also Preston Taulau, and they
Nice.
showed me a No Bragging Rights show in 2013 at Hawaiian Brian's. They kind of showed me who was in the scene. It was like
Wow.
Casey Tatum, Ill Stance. I forgot it was like another band playing. But yeah, and I just kind of picked it up from there. I was in Black Hand for a little bit. Jammed a little bit with Out of Bounds too for a bit. Kind of filled in on bass. For a
That's
little
right.
bit
You were
there.
that fucker in Out of Bounds. I was like, who's this
See?
new kid?
See,
Who's this
There
new
you are.
kid? Who's this new kid?
Black Hand was like Rage Against the Machine with hardcore. You know,
Nice.
a little bit of hardcore, but a lot of funk and like metal to it. So anything I can do groovy, man. But
yeah.
I did Lions Keep very briefly too. It's kind of like Ghost in the Side with like hardcore to it. It was pretty cool. It was with Adam Showers and some other friends of ours.
Mm.
And yeah, and then I kind of stopped playing for a bit. I had a melodic hardcore band too called Fracture. It's kind of like 100th meets like Death Heaven kind of stuff. A little bit of shoegaze with like melodic hardcore. It was fun.
Oh, wow.
And then took a break for a bit. And then I heard from these cats that, hey, they're looking for a bass player. And rest is, yeah, it's pretty much the same time that Nick came in. And then, yeah, the rest is pretty much history.
It's cool. It's like when you think of hardcore, you know, we know it's not like mainstream music, but once we find out, like, you know, you're at Long's and you're like, hey, how come that guy's wearing like a Sick of It All shirt? Then you find out, hey, it's a hardcore kid, and then you feel like it's like a fraternity, right?
I love
Where all the
that
outcasts
scene
of the
is so
world were
small,
listening to
man.
shit, you know?
Shout out to Making It to Be. That was my first band. We're actually still currently kind of doing stuff. Chris, James, Jordan, Mike, Lance. There's a bunch of guys that were involved with that project. That a lot of them they got me really into hardcore, especially my friend Jordan. I probably wouldn't be doing music if it wasn't for him. But
Oh,
yeah.
good job, Jordan.
Yeah, shout out to Jordan.
Hi, Jordan.
No, he's a sick guitar player. Shout out to Cultist with Joey. Joey's our drummer for that. I did vocals for that. Yeah, I think for like a long time, I was mainly people were just asking me to do vocals for bands. I actually joined Oceans Deep because they needed me to fill in for their old singer Drew.
He filled in twice on two. He used to fill in on bass, and then he filled in on the vocals.
Yeah.
And then that was around the time we were like, all right, we got to get this shit together. And then Nick and Paul jumped in, and then everyone just kind of like fell into place for that. But yeah.
But yeah, like with Cultists, shout out to Calder and Elliot, Mike. And then there's Madara. I was doing like kind of like it was like a prog metal band. It was kind of like kind of similar to what I was doing in Making Ends Meet, where we were.
Isn't it the same lineup?
No, it's pretty much the same lineup, but no, there's Reese and Brent, who is in that band too. So I was actually doing guitars and vocals with that too, and we were kind of just like Death Heaven meets Converge meets Between the Buried and Me, like long songs.
Okay. Okay.
2002, Black Square started. That was my first band, and then Hell Camino started shortly after. And I mean, I couldn't count the number of in between bands. There's a bunch of just. I always wanted to play drums, but nobody would let me, so I kept getting stuck with like guitar or bass. And I'm like, let me play drums. I ended up playing drums for this like shitty punk band for a little bit. Broke up. Another, bands that just didn't maybe played a show or here and there. And then when I moved to the mainland, played in a band for a while, came back, and the hardcore scene had just blown up, and I was like, what's going on? Like I'm sure back in the day, right? Like you would know back in like the Haleiwa days, there was a hardcore scene, right?
Yeah.
But then there was a big lull, and then it kind of came back in what, like 2006 or 7 maybe.
Yeah, that's like when I met like Joey them. Yeah, around there. We're like,
yeah,
kind of.
So
yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm like, what's going on? And then
Must
me and a
be-
couple buddies started like this like posy hardcore band that we did for, I don't know, maybe a year or two.
Make the
Um,
change.
No, that was Jesse's. Ours was Behave Yourself, but
Oh, fuck
me.
same thing,
My
same
bad.
thing, same thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, like bands like this started popping up, and then when it was We Battle On was the one that I feel like just blew it up.
right?
And I was
Fuck.
like, it seriously changed everything in whole. Maybe not everything, but I was like, it was from like the old school punk rock stuff that I was used to, and then ska and reggae and whatever, kind of all being mixed to like now all of a sudden there's tons of hardcore bands. It was really cool. It was really fun. But I was mostly gone for that, and I moved back, and then Die Slow was just like destroyed
Right.
everybody's life. Like that was just like, they're like, you don't need to make hardcore bands anymore because we've already done the best one. So Die Slow, man.
Right.
That's it.
And I guess that's a perfect segue to talk about Joey and his famous hardcore bands, and
Yep.
maybe he can talk about it. What bands were you in, Joey?
Every
Okay.
single one.
Someone had to maintain the scene, so Joey was like, I'm
Yeah.
going to start 10 bands.
He's one of the
And then be in
808SCENE
all of them.
All-Stars.
I guess it started with like We Battle On for sure. It was with these guys, Matt, Prey. Gosh, it was Kyle and Dustin. Those guys with like it was really like chuggy, double pedally drumming and lots of breakdowns. Just nothing I never really like enjoyed playing at all on drums. I just always prefer more like single pedal stuff. It was good, like things that kind of mix it up a bit. But then after that, that's when like Die Slow was kind of was starting with like one of our buddies, Scott, and he was fronting that band. Like, he was from the East Coast, New Jersey hardcore scene, and that had like a good little era for sure. That was definitely more my kind of like drum style, just really thrashy punk, just like single pedal breakdowns. Just keep it simple, keep it straightforward, and then kind of wanted to kind of switch things up and do vocals for a bit, and that's when I did this band called Siblings. Kind of like a really straightforward, like punk, more punk than like hardcore, if anything. Really just abrasive and just throwing. I think I probably listened to too much Ceremony or Trash Talk at that time because I was just trying to throw myself around the whole round.
Well, you were straight edge back then too, right?
Yeah, and that too, so I didn't have like I was able to catch my breath a lot easier. And then I was also 25 at the time, so my knee isn't giving out as much as it was before. But then after Siblings was it was probably a bit of a lull period as well too. Then Earl Grey, fuck me.
Oh,
Yeah. And that was kind of
right. What a great band, Earl Grey. What a great
That was the
band.
first time I saw Joey live, actually, in Hawaii. It was an Earl Grey
thank
and
you.
Rats show. at Downbeat, formerly Downbeat.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was with Eric, Jeff, and I was really wanting to play drums on that band, but we already had like Nick Sheehan on drums for that, and I was kind of just playing bass, and I just wanted just with each band, I just wanted to try something like a little different, and I was lucky that I got to be able to just play bass and just back up, and then I kind of, after Jeff left the band,
Wow.
then I kind of worked into like being more like a backup vocalist and playing bass for that.
How's that? You're like our scene Dave Grohl. Just play all the different instruments.
Living for you, nothing's ever true. For the more you nothing for forevermore. This is for you. This is for you.
cool thing is what I see with you guys, like, you know, on social media, you guys all hang out with each other. It's like, it feels like it's a real brotherhood. It's not some fake
It
shit.
really
you know?
is. These guys were all my best men at my wedding. So,
Damn.
yeah, these guys were all at my wedding. So,
It's definitely one of the few, probably the only band I've ever had where we stay consistent with hanging out. You know, I hear from Nick, I hear from Ed all the time. Ed's one of my oldest friends on the island, so we stay in touch almost every day. You know, Ryan, whenever he has a chance to hang out, we hang out, do our thing. Joey too.
But honestly, it's very rare you get like a band where you just like no one is just wants to bite the other guy's heads off. You know, or at least with these guys here, it's just we just love hanging out with each other. That's why I practice. Well, at least anytime I get time to hang out with these guys, like just even with like practice, it's just always cool to just like shoot the shit. But
we got a lot of stuff. We have a website, www.oceansdeephc.com. We update that pretty regularly when we have something. And that actually has clickable links to everything that we have: Spotify, Apple, YouTube. We have a YouTube page with a bunch of show footage. Even got some playlists. You can find us on Bandcamp. Instagram is Oceans Deep Oahu. Facebook is Facebook Oceans Deep HC. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube,
MySpace,
Amazon Music. Yeah, you can find us everywhere. We put us out. We're got a far reach. So, yeah, we're deep in the ocean, so you can find us. So, so far into the ocean that we have people in Australia, England, and Japan downloading our stuff. So
there you
doing
go.
something right. So
Worldwide hardcore.
Worldwide. Yeah.
Shout out to all the boys in Richmond, DC, Baltimore, all my homies. I miss you guys. Shout out to my mom. I love you, mom. My sisters, my pops. You know, love you guys. I don't know. I can't even think of anybody else except for the people that are already here. Thanks for this, bro. Seriously, you're the boy. Yeah, that's all I can think of. So I'm gonna pass it to Ryan, bro.
I'll say what's up, Rochester Hardcore, where I came from. Showed me how to do it, and now I'm all grown up and doing it in Honolulu now. Everyone in the scene here that supported Oceans Deep, or any of us individually in all our different projects. My wife, Mel, love you. Let me do all this. Joey, Nick, Ed, Paul, thanks for continuing to do this. BBJ, thanks for supporting, doing all this.
Shout outs to my mom and dad for getting me into music. Shout outs to Jordan, James, Chris, Nelson. Mike Big Dirty, my boys. Yeah, I got these guys over here. Michael McDermott, along with Ryan, keeping the scene alive, you know,
right?
With running the Hawaii hardcore. Just everyone that's been involved in the hardcore scene. I probably wouldn't be playing music if it wasn't for y'all teaching me how to two-step at shows and stuff like that.
Yeah. You part of the 808 Mosh team. I see you out there. I see you.
I try. I'm getting old. Getting sore.
I just want to say I love you to my cat, Slurms.
Slurms.
I want to say look out for Kaliko coming out on fucking, what is he coming out on? Not Hawaii 5-0. Magnum. Yeah. That's some
Magnum,
cool
fucking
shit.
no spoilers, bro. No spoilers. I don't want to know what he's
Well, by the
at,
time this comes out, that'll be happened already, right?
Jungle Cruise too.
right?
Oh, word?
You
Hell
fucking
yeah,
lied. I
yeah.
didn't see him.
Yo. Yeah, Kaliko's doing big stuff out there, and he also ruined my life on getting me into shoes. Him and Josh Ching. So
Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Josh King, man.
Shout out to
Oh, wait, wait.
Smutaka. Shout out to my wife, Ezgi. Thank you for putting our son to bed for tonight so I can be able to do this. Keanu, if you see this 10 years from now, I love you. You're the world to me. Shout outs to High Fives and Stage Dives, 808 Scene, Hawaii Hardcore for keeping the fire going. You guys, Paul, Ryan, Ed, Nick, I love you guys.
Aww.
You too, John, of course. Also, mom and dad, of course, for thanks for helped me get into this and with music, and yeah, thank you. Love you guys.
Was it the cage when
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Hell yeah. Sick interview. This was great.